Oh, yes. Yes.
Hey guys, welcome to Podcast vs. Player episode 47. I'm Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who once woke up with a penis drawn on his face. What was worse, it was traced. It's only Dan.
I usually prefer it when there is just a big floppy willy just across my forehead. I prefer that.
It's the best alarm clock.
Definitely, yeah.
You certainly jump out of bed. Or snuggle in. Kinda depends who it is. How are you, Snuggle Chops?
I'm fine, thanks. Incredible wank machine.
PvP, everybody.
All penis, all the time. How are you?
I'm dandy.
Good. Callum, before we start the news, we just wanted to send all of our thoughts to the guys over at Rooster Teeth and their very own Monty who's had a medical emergency and is currently hospitalised in critical care, with no one knowing if he'll actually recover. A fund has been established to assist Monty's family with the medical expenses, and if you do want to show your support in that fashion, please visit the link over on Rooster Teeth website or find it in the description of this podcast. Again, we send all our best thoughts to everyone at Rooster Teeth, Monty and his family.
Yes, sad news indeed.
Unfortunately.
Sorry to start on such a low point, but we wanted to get that out there, and we urge people to visit the link and show your support.
Absolutely. Anything you can give is obviously of great use.
Sad times. Moving on though, Dan, we've actually got some news. It's actually news from last week. We brought it up. We were sceptical, but we was wrong. It's happened. Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy has gotten a HD treatment. And you've got it.
I've got it. I've already started playing it. And it's, as you can imagine, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's the same game, just slightly polished off.
We really enjoyed it first time around, like many years ago.
Oh, definitely.
But for those of you who don't know, the remaster, which has been co-developed by Aspia Media. I'm not even sure how you say that. Aspia Media. It won't actually be on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. And Quantum Dreams actually explains on the game's frequently asked questions page. First released in 2005, Fahrenheit is considered a forerunner of the interactive narrative games that Quantic Dreams is known for, though it did not achieve the critical or commercial success of its PS3 titles Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, which I'm not sure Beyond actually went on to be that well received.
Overall, I don't think it particularly was.
Not compared to Heavy Rain.
No, not at all. But I still think that between the three of them, Fahrenheit is still the best. Although,
really?
Yeah, I mean, I like...
I really enjoyed Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain was fine.
Jason!
But that was it. It was just sort of... Because obviously it was so well thought of and it was just a story, I think there were just a few too many characters, whereas Fahrenheit only really focuses on the three. And Beyond, I preferred the kind of Aiden, or Aiden, however you want to say his name, and this sort of spirit that you can control and fuck people up with. I love that. So if you could
It's more the action orientation I didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing in Fahrenheit, there wasn't really anything that you could do apart from get out of the way of things. So, yeah, I do want the kind of... I want to be able to shoot stuff, and I want everything I actually do, in the same as Heavy Rain. Everything that you actually do does affect how people perceive you, how things turn out. And with Fahrenheit, I mean, this is 10 years old, so there are a lot of limitations, but I do think you're right, it is a forerunner, and it sort of laid the path for... You can have a kind of a movie game that works, rather than just cutscenes forever. Not Metal Gear, because obviously that does it in its own way. But, there's just cutscenes and then a slight amount of action to link things together. Whereas these are, playable. You could literally just take them and put them on film, and it would work.
Yeah. The remastered is available now on PC, Mac, Linux, and iOS. The iPhone and iPad version features new touchscreen controls, and there is an Android version that's actually in development. Why it wasn't released the same time as the others, I don't know, but I might actually get it for Android to see how well it pays out on a touchscreen device.
Yeah, it'll probably be sort of the original kind of graphics and stuff. I mean, that's not to say it looks like Mass Effect now, or even Heavy Rain or Beyond, but it still looks alright.
Knights of the Old Republic mobile version looks better than the original Xbox version.
Maybe this is a trend of things to come then. There'll be a 10-year gap and then they'll go back and remake it. Metal Gear, they've done it. Hitman, they've done it. Now they've done it with this. I'm thinking that maybe they'll go back and look at some other stuff and start, maybe there's like this 10-year rule, and if it's
Conquer.
Conquer, yeah, definitely. Find out when that was released, and I want it now.
I'm pretty sure that's older than Fahrenheit.
I'd say it's...
Well, yeah, it was on the N64 originally.
Well,
so.
yeah, but that's the thing. They kind of already had a remake, so maybe it's a slightly extended timeline they get before they get back.
remake.
Yeah, and just sort of say, that was pretty popular, let's go back and have another go at it.
Massively popular.
Yeah, but I mean, they're only charging £7 for it on Steam, which is...
Bargain.
Absolute bargain.
That's actually cheaper than the original.
Yeah, if you go out and buy it on disc, definitely, yeah.
Moving on, we have some new Star Wars Battlefront details.
Oh, Battlefront.
One of the year's most highly anticipated shooters, Star Wars Battlefront from Battlefield developer DICE, will allow players to live out their, quote, most memorable Star Wars battle fantasies. Well, according to director Nicholas Fegerius. Why has everyone got weird names this week, Dan?
I think it's just because they're doing it to annoy you.
Yeah, they know I can't speak.
His name's actually... his name's Nicholas Phillips, but they just thought this will really fuck people over when they don't know how to read out weird names.
He went on to say, in an interview with IGN, the scale of our maps and modes offer a great variety, depending on the location. For example, playable locations on the icy planet Hoth will vary in size compared to the Sense woodland setting of Endor. Now, we were talking about this earlier. Was there actually an Endor map on Battlefront 2? I still can't remember.
Endor, I think there might have been with the ATSTs, but like a Hoth map. There was definitely a Hoth map, and you could, you had the hangar for the X-wings and the Tauntauns and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think, to memory, it was AT-ATs. So I think it's pretty obvious, even from the initial trailer that they've released, that they are going to go full balls out with this, and they're going to have AT-ATs. What I'm desperately hoping for, though, is that they're integrating ground and space combat into the same thing, which means that you can have an X-wing or a Y-wing, and then you can fly through the atmosphere and assist the ground by bombing stuff on the ground.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That would be fucking amazing.
Well, it's from Battlefield, so...
yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously the maps will be huge to fly around in, rather than just sort of bouncing off invisible walls, after 20 seconds of flight. But yeah, I mean, if you could fly the capital ships for a change, actually pilot a Star Destroyer while they've got people on the guns, people repairing, and then other fighters flying out trying to shoot down, the... I can't remember what the Rebel one's called, but the equivalent of...
Yeah.
That sort of stuff would be amazing. And then obviously when you throw in things like the Jedi and the Sith, hopefully the whole scope of all, like seeing how you'd have the Council, like Mace Windu and Yoda and all that sort of stuff, which they did do in Battlefront 2. But
yeah, it was quite fun playing as Maul, to be fair.
Maul was the best, because you could just flip everywhere and you just tear everyone apart. But there was Vader, there was Leia, there was Chewie. So hopefully as long as they put those in and put in, rather than just fire, maybe an actual combat system rather than just swing wildly and block.
Well, yeah, like if you get punched by a rebel soldier, it's not going to hurt as much as if you got punched by Chewbacca. So
yeah,
that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, I would like to see it. So I cannot wait to see actual in-game footage for this.
Though he's excited about reviving the long dormant Battlefront series with this game. The guy whose name I can't say acknowledged that there are some serious challenges too. He went on to say, quote, "Perhaps the hardest part about bringing the franchise back is managing expectations. Star Wars fans, including ourselves, are incredibly passionate about the universe. Each of us have our own personal favourites. However, with the talent we have here at DICE, the Frostbite technology at our fingertips, and the fantastic working relationship we have with Lucas, I believe we will deliver a Star Wars experience that excites fans around the world and gives them the chance to play out battles in some of the most iconic locales in the series' history."
Yeah, I think that there's, especially with the new films coming out, that there's so much excitement for, and expectation for Star Wars. If they fuck this up, I don't think anyone will ever forgive them.
No. That's another thing, actually. When we were talking about the new Star Wars film, Force Awakens, and you brought up Battlefront, we was wondering when it would be released because of the film being out, because obviously there's probably a tie-in game. Well, they've said it's due to launch sometime before Christmas 2015, around the release of the Star Wars Force Awakens film. So that has surprised me.
I would have thought that would make more sense. I mean, to be honest, I don't think they need the film to play off, because Battlefront 1 and 2 has had such a massive fan base anyway. I
was thinking more because there probably will be a tie-in game, and you don't want that to go up against this.
I hope they don't. I hope they stay clear of that whole thing. Because
this isn't tied with Disney either.
No, but if they had some DLC where you could have maybe some of the locations from the new film, or new vehicles, new stormtroopers, just new skins, just something to tie it in. I think that's all that people want, because they don't want this new film. They want the old Battlefront, but they want it better. They want more to do with it. And I think that hopefully, because obviously the single player campaign from the first two were basically the same as the multiplayer ones. It was capture the capture points, kill everything, whoever ends up with the most tags, they win. But what I'm hoping is that maybe they'd have a more sort of character hero sort of storyline. So you could
at least a reason as to why you're doing it.
Yeah, so it'd be like the Han Solo missions or something like that, or the Vader missions, or you can alter how certain conflicts ended. So maybe the rebels didn't blow up the first Death Star. Maybe they won. And then it's shit. How did the rebels come back from this? And then you're Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and trying to desperately rebuild from such a failed attack, something like that. To actually expand on a universe.
Well, it's probably just going to be multiplayer.
They could, and if they do, it's worked twice before, and I can't see any reasons to why it wouldn't. It's just that I'd like to hope that they expand on it a little bit and sort of say we can make something a bit more personal, rather than the only way to really play this well is to do it online. Because obviously all the online functionality from the first two games is not supported anymore. It's not open, so it is just playing it on your own, which is fine to a degree. But the AI was never particularly
it was fucking turd.
Which is why the online was just so much better, because you were trying to outthink everyone and you had to do things strategically, and that's what kind of DICE do well with Battlefield.
Yeah.
So I really can't put into words as to how excited I am for this.
I'm pretty excited for it. Before we move on from this, there is a picture that's been released. They called it a screenshot, but I'd be very hard pressed to believe that it is.
I know it's
amazing.
It's there's no way this is a screenshot.
But it's quite cool though. Got I think there's two rebels hiding behind a tree on, I'm guessing, Endor.
I'd assume it's Endor, yeah.
And then you've got two AT&Ts. One destroyed AT&T actually,
ATST.
and then one ATST, sorry, and then one walking past it firing lasers.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's lasers in the background and in the foreground shooting towards it as well.
Yeah. So I mean, Endor, there's only really ATSTs that were knocking about in the films. It was rebel foot troops and then the Ewoks. So I believe there were traps and stuff, like the tree traps and things that would smash ATSTs in Battlefront 2. Keep doing that. That worked fine.
Yeah.
Speed bikes and just have Ewoks that are just knocking about everywhere.
Yeah. Easy peasy. Moving on though to our main story, Dan. Keeping with space. Mass Effect 4 release date 2016.
Wow.
Speculation. Speculation indicates that gamers may get their first glimpse of, quote, Mass Effect 4 gameplay or trailers during E3 2015. What's more, a verified leaker claims that BioWare's next installment in the third-person shooter franchise could have a release date sometime 2016. So, not really true yet. But the details come to design and trend via famed games leaker at Shinobi602 on Twitter. When asked if he thought Mass Effect 4 would have a presence during EA's E3 2015 portfolio, he said, "I think that's a very safe bet."
Well, that's yeah.
For more concrete details about Mass Effect 4, one thing that fans can conclude is that the story will not follow the lore of Commander Shepard, established by the previous trilogy. Shepard's actions will have impacted the game's universe, but BioWare developers suggest they will have no direct connection to the series' fourth entry. It was also heavily implied through a leaked PAX meeting that the game will be a sequel to Mass Effect 3 rather than a prequel.
Good.
That is still good though. In essence, the gameplay environment of Mass Effect 4 will allow players to explore a massive intergalactic world alone or with friends. There will be a different humanoid and alien races to converse with, and they'll exude different abilities and personalities. Upon last update, BioWare creative revealed on Twitter that the current build of Mass Effect 4 was very playable, with the bulk of Dragon Age Inquisition staff now working on Mass Effect 4. Progress is likely to come a lot quicker than we expected. Do rah 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 rah.
Okay, well if it's not going to be Shepard, but Shepard is still going to be the hero of the galaxy kind of thing, what do you reckon would be the focus? Would it be
I think
a new Spectre, maybe, or something like that?
They might kind of go backwards, like flip it on its side, so we might play as like not even a human this time round.
Okay, go on.
So we've got like what was Garrus? What was his race?
Taurian, I think.
Taurian. So you obviously got all the different. I don't want to say races because it's
species.
So yeah, species. That's a better word. There's a lot of different species, and essentially, if they call the new one Jesus, the new character's called Jesus, you're still playing as Shepard. It's still going to be the same thing. Whereas if you play as a new species altogether, you can at least implement like that species' own like background and lore into the game.
True, yeah. Because I mean, if you were a Krogan, say, I love the Krogan backstory.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's very similar to the Klingon backstory from all of Star Trek. You know, a warrior race that basically destroyed their own planet through stupid civil wars, and you know, basically the majority of the planet is pretty uninhabitable due to radiation, and it's just you can't really survive there. So it makes whoever lives there pretty tough because they've got to survive through everything. It's very warrior and it's very honour and all that sort of stuff. So I would like maybe a Krogan, maybe what was his name, the clone from 3.
Fucking hell.
I can't remember, but he was like the perfect...
We'll call him Bob.
Yeah, Bob. He was the perfect Krogan. So, but if you're going to go and focus on a specific, maybe previous cast member, if you want to put it like that, there's only one that I'd be remotely interested in.
Garrus.
Of course it is. Garrus is the absolute best.
Or the thief from 2. I can't remember his name now.
Thane, I think.
Thane, yeah. He was quite cool.
He was
quite interesting.
And although I don't think they did as much with his sort of assassinating kind of thing. That, like, if you could go off and do
nothing at all.
Well, like the first time he was introduced, he was just like dropping through ceilings and just killing everyone.
Yeah.
And then when you were playing as him, he was just kind of just shoot. That was the only thing that he could really contribute.
Yeah.
What I liked though is him sort of running into combat and turning invisible and then just killing people from behind. That's the sort of AI for companions that you want, something that actually reflects on what they're able to do.
Yeah.
Rather than they just hide behind cover and shoot and do things that you tell them every now and then.
It's not going to happen because they've already said it's going to be a sequel. But I'd quite like to play as when Garrus is Archangel. When you have to go and recruit him, so you can actually see when he's doing that like phase of his life.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Because
obviously not going to happen.
Vigilante bounty hunter kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's more than likely, I reckon, that if anything, it's going to be a minor character who's then expanded on. Or they could just go, this is...
We might get to play as the reporter.
Fucking hell. As long as there's nothing to do with her anymore, that's fine. But, you could be any of the, like, surviving human fleet, or, maybe an admiral, or a member of the council, something like that, where big decisions have to be made.
It's quite interesting.
There's plenty of different things you can do with it.
I'll be honest, I've got quite a lot of faith in them. Yeah, I don't think they're just going to rehash it with basically another Shepard character.
I think it'd be too obvious if they did that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was someone that was already established in the story as being...
You might play as Faith from Mirror's Edge.
That's quite unlikely. As it's BioWare, you'd be more likely to play as Revan than you would.
Oh shit, yeah, it's EA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Turns out that Revan was Commander Shepard all along.
It's definitely.
I'd be up for that.
I'm going to send him an email and just say, "Have you thought about Revan? You put Revan in? He's the elusive man."
Okay. If you had a choice, Mass Effect 4 or Knights of the Old Republic 3?
That's not fair.
That's the rules.
Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Yeah, I'd already decided.
It's got to be. It's just too good of a game.
I've waited a couple of years for Mass Effect 4, but I've waited like 11 years for fucking...
Yeah, I think we deserve another one now, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And they can't keep pushing it off with, you've got the online version, go play that. It's like, no, we want the proper one back.
No, that's not Cotter.
To a degree it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I enjoyed Cotter. Oh, I'm really disappointed we're not going to get Cotter. We'll probably get Cotter in Half-Life 3 double pack.
Yeah, definitely. And they'll both be on sale for £3 each.
Yeah. And we'll both be dead by the time they're out.
I'm pretty sure that, with Battlefront 3, that'll tide me over for Star Wars stuff. Hopefully they don't do a tie-in movie license game, because I think
of course they will. It's Disney.
No, they won't. They can't.
Oh, they're going to appear in Disney Infinity as well. I know it.
They cancelled 1313, so they cannot come out and say, well, we've got a tie-in game for the film.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Oh.
Yep.
I was so excited for that. It looked phenomenal.
It did. That is what Cotter should have been like. That is Cotter 3 right there.
Oh, imagine that. Oh, god damn.
Well, think about it though. If Mass Effect 4 looks like 1313, that very, very small gameplay trailer that we saw, it has got the potential to be the best one.
Because the thing is, 1313 looks so good, and that was like proper early footage.
Yeah.
And it looked like just amazing. It was like, oh man.
Do you know what I've just thought though? What would be a good thing for Mass Effect 4 would be like working for Cerberus or something. Like you're a low-level officer or something with Cerberus, and you've got to try and bring the whole Cerberus humanity rules kind of thing down from the inside, on the good path. Or you try and get the affection of the elusive man, assuming he's still alive, which I don't think he is. And or try and take his place or something like that, and try and get full human domination for the. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Quite excited now. I was excited before, but possibilities.
Well, that's it. I mean, they could just go, this is someone that you've never heard of working for a bounty hunter clan or a gang or some kind of secret government thing that no one's talked about. It could be anything, or it could just be... I'd assume it's going to be from a low level, maybe like the gangs or something that were mentioned like briefly, the sort of street gangs. Something like that, or... Although, again, it wouldn't be a sequel, but, like, Shepard's origin, like, he was on, like, Malachor 5? No, that was Star Wars.
No, that's Star Wars.
There's some, like, big battle that everyone talks about. They're like, shit, you're, like, from that specific battle. Like, playing through that, and then...
Oh, and he's from the Revan War.
Yeah, but, yeah, I love... I think that's why I like BioWare so much, is because they don't just make things linear, they make this entire universe, this whole lore, and then when it comes to adapting on it more, they've got so many different things that they can choose from to say, well, this is a bit we want to explore a little bit more. Maybe that's
why they made Mass Effect, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's because
they hadn't... No, sorry, I was just going to say, they hadn't got the free reign they wanted on Cotter.
Yeah, because it's still a universe that kind of belongs to somebody else.
Yeah.
So you've still got to get approval on whatever you want to do.
So realistically, Mass Effect 1 was Cotter 3.
If it actually was Cotter 3, I would have loved that. If you were just like that sort of Kyle Katarn kind of thing, just sort of a rebel who had some force powers. Like if you stripped away Shepard and just put in some random Jedi that uses guns and stuff as well.
Yeah.
That you could have made that immediately.
Well, that's essentially what Mass Effect is. Essentially Star Wars.
I think it's how it's how they wanted
Jedis.
Star Wars to be.
Yeah.
If they'd had still got the money and the license agreements and stuff to actually carry on doing it, Mass Effect 3 would be Cotter 6.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, so we're quite looking forward to that. But that's it.
Any ideas for 3 years this year? The dates?
I don't actually know. It'll be roughly around July, I think.
So sort of Q2, Q3-ish.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit later, but we'll keep posted on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
As always, we'll follow everything that's happening. We won't be going this year. Not that we went last year.
I know. Yeah, unfortunately, we're just so busy with other stuff we're doing.
Yeah, we have our own gaming conference that we hold.
In our house.
It's just me and Dan. We line some teddies around the room and walk in. We're like, thanks for coming, everyone. And then the teddies walk off. We're like, fuck you. We're going to be free.
Yeah.
But What is indeed coming up on our channel, Dan?
Well, there's a new PvP show that's been started.
Yes, the PvP show.
Yeah, an animated version of the best bits of certain podcasts. There's not going to be many of them because it's mostly all shite. But what we do think is pretty good will be animated by the very talented Campovi.
Hello.
And then put it on YouTube, which is pretty good so far. Actually, I quite like it.
Yeah, there's episode 1 is up now. Episode 2 will be straying from the podcast theme, and we're just going to basically just record a conversation and animate it.
Think the Ricky Gervais show. It's
but
a copy
shit.
of that. It's a terrible copy of that.
Yeah. Luckily, we're not popular enough for him to see this.
You never know. You never know.
He might actually come.
Jonathan Ross is a big gamer apparently, so if he stumbles across it and he calls him up, and it's just like, what the fuck's all this about?
I didn't know you'd done a shit cartoon. We also have another Can You Believe It? Episode 3, I believe.
Looking forward to it.
We need to do some Space Engineers.
Rick has actually gone and downloaded Space Engineers.
Good lad.
So I'm trying to teach him what I know, which is a lot easier than trying to teach you, I'll have to say that.
Oi.
He knows what he's doing, that lad.
I landed that spaceship the other day.
Sorry, how many ships of mine have you lost and broken? Exactly.
How many worlds have I destroyed?
I got them back. It's not my fault my computer died.
We still lost everything.
Yeah, true. But anyway, we're going to be starting from scratch on this.
Yes.
One, so it's going to be a slog, but we'll feel a lot better about it.
We probably won't film anything until we've actually built something worthwhile.
Yeah, that'll be a while.
Because it's pretty boring watching us build things.
And
watching
stuff out
Dan
by
build
hand.
things.
Yeah.
Because we haven't actually got anything to dig with anymore. We've got to do it all by hand.
Yeah, but we'll
it's gonna
be
a long time.
trying to get some new mods. There's some really cool Star Trek weapon mods that we tested out a couple of days ago, which work and are great. By the way, you may not have a ship anymore.
That's fine.
Because we did use it as target practice, but the good news is it does work and it's fucking awesome. So we'll be messing about with some mods and stuff and seeing if there's anything decent out there we can recommend.
We'll also be doing some new Minecraft because, again, we've lost everything.
Yeah.
So we'll be starting again. I don't know if we'll be carrying on with Magicraft and Jurassic Dinosaurs or starting from scratch.
Well, because the biggest issue is because we couldn't record them as frequently as we would have liked to. It's because the server runs on my computer, and whenever I wanted to go on and start recording some stuff, it would affect Callum's game overall. So didn't really want to sort of fuck things up, so he comes on and then everyone's died because he hasn't been taking care of them. So I'm thinking maybe if we do maybe like a combined thing. So we do like a Jurassic?
We're going to have giraffes and
everywhere.
magic.
Yeah, like
magic giraffes.
Jurassic magic saws or something.
Jurassic magic. Just magic.
We'll work on the name. Don't worry about it. But like a combined, like a Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Magic Craft. No, that's what you said.
Yeah, like a magic dinosaur theme park.
Harry T-Rex.
What else have we got coming up?
Daisy.
Yep, there's been plenty
we
of
haven't
additions.
done a Daisy for a while.
No, I did check in the other day. There's been a load of new stuff added to Daisy as well, so we want to get in there and fanny about with that.
And I think probably maybe a Fahrenheit video.
Oh,
maybe.
I don't know. I'm too into it at the moment. I'm thinking maybe. Well, I'm thinking I got the Grim Fandango HD remake. I'd be more inclined to do that because I have no idea what I'm doing with it, and it's incredibly fucking hard.
Yep, how games should be.
Exactly, they definitely should be, and it does sort of. You think shit. I take so much for granted, like tooltips and help, and mini-maps and instant respawns and all that sort of stuff. None of that. It's just, here's your situation, figure out how the fuck to get out of it.
But it's fucking funny.
It is, it's pretty funny. So I'm liking it a lot. I've only put about like 2 or 3 hours into it and I haven't got really...
That hasn't got past the menu.
No, I haven't got out of the first building yet. Like, there's just a bit where it's all blocked off and I can't figure it out. So I might do that.
Do not play Sam and Max.
It would be about 45 episodes. So...
And then maybe you'll solve the first
maybe
puzzle.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything new coming out.
No, other than that, podcasts every week. You can follow us on Twitter at podcastvplayer. Check out the website, podcastversusplayer.com or .co.uk. It's both, it doesn't matter. You can email us at Dan.
playervpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, he's got it. He's on fire, this man.
Oh, yes.
Oh, don't touch him.
Ow.
The police are here. As always, the last three things you used a spoon for.
Cereal, obviously.
That's an easy one.
Crunchy Nut cornflakes, the best.
Alright.
What, advertising, sorry. I'm going to say ice cream, but I can't remember when. Oh, Ben & Jerry's, of course. Fish food, the best. Advertising.
Well, that was when it was. It was. I had some ice cream on Ben & Jerry's night.
No, it's just that it was the last time I had some in.
Oh, right.
And medicine, I guess.
And he had all these three things together.
Oh, it was delicious. It was a cold bowl of medicinal crunchy nut cornflakes.
Sounds a treat.
Oh, it was the best. I felt
Say
so
goodbye,
good
Dan.
afterwards.
You fucking weirdo. Bye.
Oh, yes.